Epic Chronicles of Dren, the Troupe Saga, Episode 2, Clash in the Shadows.
Akra's massive sword meets the first arrow with a swift, decisive swing. The arrow splits, its halves spiraling off into the underbrush. Her voice booms, echoing her contempt.
Is that the best you shits can do? Come on, I've seen children throw harder.
Thoradin, ever the protector, deflects an arrow aimed at Mordecai with his shield. The arrowhead screeches against the solid dwarven steel, its deadly intent thwarted.
Watch your bloody back, Mordecai. My shield's here for now, but keep your eyes peeled.
So, you want a fucking cookie for saving my arse, dwarf?
Nah, I'd rather the arrow give you some new arseholes. You need more ways to fuck yourself over, Mordecai.
Mordecai, unfazed by the close call, leaves a spell with a flick of his wrist. A bolt of arcane energy shoots forth, striking a goblin, sending it flying back, a charred husk.
That's a taste of my magic, you filthy curs. Line up. I've got plenty more where that came from.
Urzo's blade sings a silent, deadly tune as it slices through an ambushing goblin. The creature's body falls in two separate, silent pieces, a testament to the samurai's lethal precision.
Another shadow extinguished. We must stay vigilant.
Keth's blade crashes into a goblin with a fury that leaves no room for mercy. The creature's body is cleaved in half, a stark reminder of the warrior's brutal strength.
That's what you get, you little fucks. Line up for your demise.
In the shadows, Osborne's blades are whispers of death. One goblin feels a cold kiss at its throat before collapsing, a crimson bloom flowering on its neck. Another turns just in time to see Osborne's grim visage before his blade silences it, leaving a gaping, silent scream where its throat once was.
Hush now. Death is quiet. Embrace the eternal silence.
Akra's rage fuels her every swing, her sword a devastating force of nature. Goblins are cleaved, their bodies testament to her unbridled fury, their blood painting the forest floor.
Taste the storm's wrath, you cowards. This is where your path ends.
As the goblins turn to flee, Osborne marks one with a strategic cut, ensuring a trail to follow. His voice is calm, a stark contrast to the chaos around him.
Run, bleed, and lead us, you pathetic creature. Your pain is our pathfinder.
The clash with the goblins leaves the forest of Dren eerily quiet. As the dust settles, the party takes a moment to regroup, their breaths heavy, the adrenaline of battle slowly ebbing away. Lord Percival, his noble attire marred by the forest's grime, steps forward, his gaze sweeping over the group. His voice trembles, betraying his composed facade.
Is everyone unharmed?
Mordecai, wiping a smear of blood from his cheek, eyes him with a mixture of irritation and disbelief.
And where the fuck were you during the fight, huh? Taking a stroll?
Lord Percival's eyes drop, the weight of his guilt and fear evident. His voice is a mere whisper, laden with sorrow.
I was frozen, paralyzed by the memory of my men. Those who died, their bodies used to set a trap. I just couldn't move.
Thoradin steps forward, placing a firm hand on Lord Percival's shoulder. His voice is stern, yet understanding, a beacon of support in the shadow of fear.
We all carry our burdens, Percival, but we must press on. Sildar might still be out there, counting on us. We can't afford to falter. Not now.
He turns, addressing the group with a resolute tone.
Stay vigilant, everyone. Watch yourselves and each other. We're not through this yet.
Osborne, his gaze fixed on the blood trail left by the fleeing goblin, nods solemnly.
It's time. We follow the trail the goblins left us. Their den won't remain hidden for long.
As the group murmurs their agreement, Keth's sharp eyes catch a glint among the fallen. He picks up a golden arrow from the body of a goblin and calls Urzo over.
Take a look at this. If I'm not mistaken, this is Revan's handiwork.
Urzo examines the arrow, a small smile playing on his lips.
Seems like the forest is on our side. Revan's arrows don't miss their mark.
Revan's arrows don't miss their mark, eh?
He chuckles, shaking his head with a mock seriousness that doesn't quite reach his eyes.
That is, until they fucking do, and you find yourself waking up in a dungeon, staring into the beady eyes of some weird hippo rat thing, wondering where it all went wrong.
Urzo, unable to suppress a grin, nods in agreement. The shared history between them, unspoken but deeply understood.
Aye, that's a morning you don't forget.
Let's hope today is not one of those days.
Their laughter, a brief respite in the tension of their journey, is a testament to their bond. A moment of light in the shadowed paths of Dren. Thoradin, though stern, can't help but crack a slight smile at their banter.
Enough chatter. Time's wasting, and every moment counts. Let's get moving, and keep your eyes peeled. This forest holds more secrets than we know.
With renewed determination, and the knowledge that allies, seen and unseen, are with them, the party sets out, following the trail into the heart of the forest, where danger and destiny await in the shadows of Dren. The trail leads the party to the mouth of a cave, its entrance a gaping maw amidst the dense foliage of Dren's forest. Osborne, Keth, and Thoradin lead the way, their senses heightened, while Akra, Urzo, Percival, and Mordecai guard the rear, ensuring no threat escapes their vigil. The cave breathes a cold, damp air, a stark contrast to the life of the forest. Osborne, his senses attuned to the whispers of danger, signals the group to halt. His eyes, sharp as his blades, catch the flicker of movement within the shadows. 2 hobgoblins, their forms more menacing than their lesser kin, stand at the cave's entrance. Their voices, gruff and contemptuous, carry through the still air.
Damn those worthless goblins, injured and whimpering. They're nothing but a disgrace. If we were there, those puny adventurers would be dead or grovelling at our feet as slaves.
Osborne's lips curl into a cold smile. He moves, a shadow among shadows, silent and deadly. His approach is a ghost's whisper, unseen, unheard, a testament to his mastery. The first hobgoblin barely registers a blur before Osborne's blade sings its silent song. A hand, clasped firmly over its mouth, stifles any cry as the blade finds the space between its armor plates, a lethal kiss that stills its heart. Its body crumples, a puppet with its strings cut, lifeless and silent. The second hobgoblin turns, a curse half formed on its lips, but Osborne is a tempest, a force of retribution. His second blade arcs, a silver flash in the dim light, and meets the hobgoblin's neck. The cut is clean, decisive, the head barely having time to register its severance before toppling. As the second body hits the ground, Osborne stands, his blades dripping with dark blood. His voice, a mere murmur, carries the weight of his resolve.
If you were there, it would have been no different. You'd have died with the rest.
With the hobgoblins dispatched, the entrance to the cave stands unguarded, a dark passage leading into the heart of unknown perils. The party gathers, their resolve hardened, ready to face whatever darkness lies within.
Wow, that's some pretty gruesome shit from such a little guy.
Akra, overhearing the remark, turns to Mordecai, her expression stern, yet not without a hint of amusement.
Careful with your words, Mordecai. Don't let Osborne hear you, or you might find yourself next on his list.
Mordecai's smirk falters slightly, a flicker of genuine respect, and perhaps a hint of fear, crossing his features.
Noted. I guess it's true what they say. The deadliest poisons come in the smallest bottles.
In the shadow of the cave entrance, the silence of the forest seems to hold its breath. The party regroups, the gravity of their next steps weighing heavily in the air. Osborne, wiping his blades clean, turns to address the group.
This cave could be a labyrinth of danger. We should split up, cover more ground, and catch them by surprise.
The group nods in agreement, the logic of the strategy clear, despite the inherent risks. Thoradin, his brow furrowed in thought, takes charge of the decision.
Right, I'll go with Osborne, Mordecai, and Percival. Akra, Keth, and Urzo, you'll form the second team. Stay sharp, everyone. We don't know what's waiting for us in there.
His eyes then settle on Percival, noting the noble's unease.
Percival, you with us? We need every man focused and ready.
Percival, his demeanor a mix of resolve and lingering fear, nods slowly, his voice a quiet affirmation.
I am with you. My thoughts may waver, but my sword will not.
Akra, sensing the need to bolster spirits, turns to Keth, her voice a grounding force.
Keth, this feels like the old days, doesn't it? Just another dance with danger.
Keth, a wry smile playing on his lips, claps her on the shoulder, his determination clear.
You know it, Akra. Time to show these fuckers where it hurts. Let's remind them why we're the ones who ride the tails.
With a last round of nods and clenched jaws, the two teams prepare to delve into the darkness. The cave mouth yawns before them, a silent challenge to their courage and resolve. As they step into the shadows, each member of the party carries with them the weight of their past and the unyielding will to shape the future. Osborne, his gaze piercing the shadows that dance at the cave's entrance, turns to the group. His hand raises, a silent command that speaks louder than words. His eyes sweep over his companions, a message clear in their depths.
Silence now. Stay sharp.
With a subtle, fluid motion, he signals the group, his hand gesturing towards the dark maw of the cave. The message is unmistakable. Move forward, but move quietly. The teams, as one, nod in silent understanding. Each step is measured, each breath controlled. The mouth of the cave beckons, its secrets hidden in the deep shadows that stretch forth like tendrils. The first team, a quartet of diverse skills and steely resolve, ventures further into the cave's enigmatic depths. The gentle murmur of flowing water provides a stark contrast to the tension that clings to the air like the dampness on the cave walls. Mordecai's sharp gaze spots two goblin watchers perched with malevolent intent, their eyes scanning for intruders or fleeing allies.
2 goblin sentries ahead, likely not the welcoming type. Percival, care to make an introduction?
Percival, feeling the weight of his earlier hesitation, grips one of his few remaining javelins. With resolve etching his features, he takes aim and releases. The javelin sails through the cave, striking the first goblin squarely in the chest, pinning it against the wall with a sound that echoes deathly in the cavern. The second goblin, paralyzed by the shock of its companion's abrupt demise, becomes an easy target for Mordecai. With a swift incantation, a firebolt erupts from his fingers, streaking across the cave. It hits the goblin, propelling its lifeless form off the bridge and into the water below, where its blood begins a grim dance with the flowing stream.
Nicely done, but let's not get complacent. These caves hold more than just goblins.
The team cautiously advances, crossing the bridge when Thoradin's battle-hardened instincts flare. A trap, cunningly concealed, lies in Percival's path. Without hesitation, Thoradin positions himself to absorb the impact. The trap springs, a wall of spikes shattering against his shield. The force is immense, and shards of shrapnel pierce through the less protected parts of his armor. As Thoradin grunts in pain, Mordecai's hand swiftly covers his mouth.
Keep it down, unless you want every goblin in the cave swarming us.
Next time, let's volunteer Mordecai for trap duty. He's got away with words. Let's see him talk his way out of a spike wall.
Amidst their whispered exchange, Osborne senses the growing peril. Their altercation might have alerted the goblin horde.
Enough. Save it for later. We got bigger problems.
Without waiting for a response, Osborne melts into the shadows, his form vanishing as he scouts ahead. Percival, stepping into the central space, readies his weapon, his earlier fears now replaced by the clarity of present danger. The soft clatter of approaching footsteps echoes through the chamber. The goblins are coming, drawn by the scent of conflict and the promise of battle. The second team, composed of Keth, Urzo, and Akra, ventures down a divergent path in the cave, a route that promises its own share of darkness and danger. The air grows thick with a putrid stench, a foul miasma that clings to every breath. The source soon becomes apparent. A cluster of sleeping goblins, their bodies sprawled haphazardly, creating a tapestry of filth and decay. The smell is a vile concoction of unwashed bodies, rotten meat, and the unmistakable tang of old blood. It permeates the chamber, a physical presence that assaults the senses and threatens to overwhelm. Amidst this olfactory nightmare, the team spots an opportunity. The goblins, lost in their slumber, are unaware of the silent predators in their midst. Keth, Urzo, and Akra move like shadows, their movements precise and deliberate. One by one, they dispatch the sleeping goblins, their blades finding the silent beats of their enemies' hearts. The deed is grim, but necessary, and they carry it out with a quiet efficiency, ensuring not a single grunt or gasp escapes to alert the others. With the immediate threat neutralized, the team takes a moment to regroup. The ease of their task so far has them on edge, the quiet before the storm that every warrior learns to dread.
Too easy. Keep your guard up. This could be the calm before the storm.
Their attention is then drawn to a simple metal door, its surface unadorned, but for a keyhole that speaks of secrets or treasures hidden beyond. A quick search of the goblin bodies yields no key, leaving them at an impasse. Keth, ever confident in his skills, steps forward with a smirk.
Stand back. Let a master work.
Minutes tick by, the silence a heavy blanket. Suddenly, a snap breaks the quiet. Keth's lockpick is broken. His frustration is palpable.
Fuck me. Well, I tried.
Urzo, a smirk playing on his lips, can't resist a jibe.
A master, eh? The door seems to disagree.
Keth's outburst is cut short by Akra's suggestion, her voice a mix of impatience and determination.
I can break it down.
Both men quickly dissuade her, aware of the noise such an action would cause.
No, thank you. Let's not invite the entire cave to this party.
Urzo takes his turn at the lock, but after a quarter of an hour, he too admits defeat. The trio sits back, contemplating their predicament. Akra's comment breaks the silence.
It's remarkable to see how you managed to escape from fleas. Let's just say it wasn't without a fair share of luck and some unexpected help.
The trio falls into a contemplative silence, each lost in their thoughts. The echo of their past encounters a silent companion in the stillness of the cave. Finally, Keth, breaking the silence, turns his attention back to the present challenge.
But right now, we've got our own locked door mystery to solve. Akra, looks like...
Before Keth can even finish his sentence, Akra steps forward, her muscles tensing as she readies herself to unleash her strength on the stubborn door. The anticipation of the moment hangs heavy in the air, a palpable force that resonates with the strength and resilience of the trio.
Fucking finally!
Her voice echoes in the now open passage, a bold declaration of triumph that reverberates through the cave, a testament to her strength and the unyielding spirit of the trio. Urzo, watching the door finally yield to Akra's formidable strength, can't help but reflect on the time they spent contemplating their options. He turns to Akra and Keth, a wry smile playing at the corners of his mouth, his tone laced with dry humor.
It took us almost 2 hours to settle on the break the door option. Nice.
The metal door, now a twisted remnant of Akra's strength, swings open to reveal a chamber that speaks of nightmares made flesh. The scene within is a tableau of horror. Bodies desecrated, lives discarded with cruel indifference. The cave reeks of death, each corner a testament to the goblin's savagery. Keth's gaze sweeps over the gruesome sight, his expression hardening with every harrowing detail he takes in. His voice, when he speaks, is a low growl, each word laced with disgust and anger.
Fucking animals. Look what they've done.
Akra, though equally appalled, keeps her focus razor sharp, her warrior's instincts attuned to the present dangers and potential survivors.
Stay focused. There might still be survivors. We need to be thorough.
Urzo, usually the embodiment of calm and control, finds his samurai's resolve tested. His eyes blaze with an inner fire, a silent promise of retribution. The rage within him is a tempest, barely contained, his every muscle tensed for action. Then, amidst the carnage, a flicker of movement catches Urzo's keen eye. He moves swiftly, his steps silent, despite the turmoil raging within him. In the midst of the grim chamber, amid the defeated foes and the signs of a relentless struggle, stands Sildar Hallwinter. Once a proud and imposing figure, he now bears the unmistakable marks of his harrowing ordeal. Despite being in his late 40s, the trials he's faced in these dark confines seem to have added years to his appearance. Sildar's once immaculate armor, a testament to his status and valor, is now tarnished and dented, marred by the brutality of his captors. His face, though still holding the resolve and strength of a seasoned knight, is drawn and gaunt. The hardships of his captivity are evident in his malnourished frame, his muscles weakened, and his skin pallid beneath the dirt and grime that cover him. Swelling and dark bruises paint a painful picture across his visage, each one a silent story of the blows he's endured. Scars, both old and new, crisscross his exposed skin, a patchwork of battles fought and survived. Yet, some wounds stand out more prominently, their healing hindered by the goblin's cruel neglect. These injuries, raw and unattended, speak of the recent torments he's faced, each a grim reminder of his time spent in the clutches of his tormentors. Urzo, kneeling beside the fallen knight, offers a hand and words of assurance.
You're safe now, Sildar. We're here to get you out of this hell.
Sildar, his body a map of bruises and his spirit a well of untold agony, looks up at the party. His voice, weak but laced with a steely resolve, barely carries through the stench of the chamber.
Thank you, but I cannot leave. Not yet. This cave, I want it dismantled. Every goblin here slain. I want the head of their leader, Vunk the Bugbear.
Sildar's words ignite a shared flame within the hearts of the trio. They offer him food, water, and a sword, which he accepts with a nod of gratitude. As he readies himself, a transformation takes place. The beaten knight begins to reclaim his strength, his honor, his very soul.
I owe it to the families who lost fathers and sons from my company. This atrocity, it ends today.
Keth, Akra, and Urzo exchange glances. No words are needed. The new objective is clear, and it aligns perfectly with the burning desire in each of their hearts. The first team, enveloped in the cacophony of the goblin horde, stands back to back in a circle of defiance. Each member, wielding their skills and weapons, prepares to face the onslaught. Mordecai, his eyes flashing with both determination and a hint of mischief, can't help but express his unique brand of humor even in the face of danger.
I'd rather die on Akra's chest than be stuck here with a smelly dwarf, a murder hobo halfling, and a sacred noble.
But as he glances around, a realization dawns. his voice turning from jest to concern.
Wait, where the fuck is Osborne?
Thoradin, his focus unwavering as he parries and strikes, responds with a gruff, urgent tone.
Focus, Mordecai. We got bigger problems than a missing Osborne right now.
Percival, his voice laced with panic, adds to the urgency.
There's too many of them.
The situation seems dire. The goblins a relentless wave of malice and chaos. But then, Akra, her presence a force of nature, hefts her giant sword and unleashes a devastating swing, cleaving through the horde, her strength and fury a beacon of hope. As if answering an unspoken call, Sildar and Urzo appear, side by side, their blades a blur of precision and grace, slicing through any goblin that dare stand in their way. Keth, his own battle a brutal testament to his resolve, fights his way to join the rest of the team. Mordecai, relief mixing with his usual sarcasm, greets the newcomers.
Well, if it isn't a surprise, what took you so long?
Keth, catching his breath, responds with a hint of irony.
We fought a god-level device.
Keeping the true nature of their delay a secret. Thoradin adds, his voice a rumble of satisfaction amid the battle as he smites another unfortunate goblin.
Well, it's nice you're all at the party.
The team, now reunited, fights off the horde together, their combined strength turning the tide of the battle. As the last of the goblins fall, Mordecai can't help but express his desire to leave the grisly scene.
Finally! Can we leave this place? It smells like shit and dead goblins.
But Sildar, his eyes scanning the cave with a frantic intensity, interjects with a voice filled with anger, pain, and a thirst for vengeance.
We aren't done yet. He's coming.
Their momentary relief is shattered by the sound of heavy footsteps, the ground trembling with each thunderous step. Suddenly, Osborne's body is hurled into their midst, crashing against the wall with a sickening thud. Thoradin rushes to Osborne's side, concern etched on his face.
Osborne, are you alright?
Osborne, coughing up blood, but with a glint of defiance in his eyes, manages to speak.
It'll take a lot more than that to kill me.
The scene reaches a fever pitch as Vunk, the brawny bugbear, and the tyrant of the cave, steps into view. His imposing figure casts a shadow of dread, his every step cracking the ground beneath him, his mere presence a testament to his power.
Who the fuck are you?